Katy Perry, born as Katherine Hudson, is easily one of the most, if not the most, successful pop stars of her generation, if we went by receipts alone. There are plenty. After an impressive media blitz which included a re-release of Teenage Dream, the 2012 doc Part of Me, and a freaking Super Bowl performance, Katy took a break to, well, become woke, campaigning alongside Hillary in the 2016 election and even releasing the inspirational single Rise.
I'm going to vote for Hillary Clinton. That's right, because I have been on the road with her since Iowa.
So by the time Katy was primed for her actual comeback in 2017 with Witness, the artist described how she was ready to make pop woke again.
I think we can all come together as human beings that have the same feelings and emotions and desires, basic things, and we can come together and we can do this.
Witness's lead single, Chained to the Rhythm, performed as you would expect a fresh Katy Perry song to perform, by debuting within the top 5 on the Hot 100 and getting good radio play out the gate. Add in a colorful and campy music video, and you've got the Perry formula down to a T. Katy Perry was back. But something was different this time around. Besides her hair. Little history. In 2013, an infamous year in Stan history, Katy would release Prism, and it was a monster hit. The singles were everywhere. She was everywhere. Sales-wise, she technically won 2013, even with Miley thrown in. And this was her shining moment as the most successful pop star in the industry, at least until Beyoncé released Self-Titled. Heavy lies the crown. Even with the inevitable social media shitstorm that followed, pitting her against her peers, she conquered and claimed her throne in spite of it. But now that she came back, didn't it seem like she was having a little moment, or at least her mojo was off?
It's a setup for Boys and Girls Club!
All right.
I will take Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, all right.
Worse yet, most of this awkwardness would play out live on Katy Perry Live, Witness Worldwide, aka Katy Perry Will You Be My Witness, a 96-hour YouTube live stream of the star that played like equal parts Celebrity Big Brother and Dr. Phil. Sia was there. And so were these people. I saw a little of it to make this, and whatever. It was a cute moment while it was happening, but it didn't land on any retrospective list for 2017, so its impact and reach is arguable. There were insightful moments, however.
Is math related to science? Numbers.
Everything was like a haze. You know that meme where it's all SpongeBob and it's like circling? That was my brain.
I love
That enthusiasm gap would leak into other parts of the era. Chain of the Rhythm lost steam pretty fast, so Perry dropped her second single, Bon Appetit, featuring Migos. Catering solely to the crowd Perry avowed its intelligence she wouldn't insult. So, is the song an insult? I don't mind the production on this. I know nothing about music theory, but the instrumentation is passable, at best. Migos provide guest verses that are passable, at best. But they could be passable now. Bad and Bougie went #1 earlier that year, so whatever. There was a lot of controversy surrounding this song, and not just because of Katy's dancing. A minor brouhaha came about after the song's SNL performance, when it was alleged that some of the drag performers felt mistreated after Migos refused to perform alongside them. And not a lot came from the story, nothing at all actually, except that Migos did eventually perform alongside the drag queens. They looked thrilled. Although the original article was taken down, staff and others who claimed to be there only gave the rumors credence. The media outlets that cared about this story gave Migos way more shit than Katy, if only because of their prior colorful history of homophobia, but Katy didn't leave unscathed. The song failed ironically because it wasn't catchy yet indistinguishable enough to cater to the zoned out crowd, while simultaneously not bombastic enough to speak to the EDM heads. Nor was it a fun novelty. Fun in quotes. But as other critics and pop prognosticators may tell you, trying to predict what becomes a hit lately is a fool's errand. Unless it's a bland ballad. Those have been doing well for a while now, but Catering to that broad, faceless audience has always been Katy's strength, especially after hitting it big in '08. Bon Appetit peaked at 59, and while I'm sure Migos could give a shit, Katy was left holding the bag. So 2 things were obvious heading into the Witness era. 1, she was tired. To reiterate, she was coming off a successful global tour and Stump for Hillary within the past 2 years, so the about face that the Witness era is seems natural to an extent, which leads me to my second observation. Her creative juices were spent as well, and so were Max Martin's, obviously. Not a lot about Katy's new awareness or her desire to change up her and her audience's expectation really comes across in the music. Hell, the whole era from the visuals down come across as jumbled. And as for the album itself, the dark pop retro 80s aesthetic definitely did not need another interpretation, especially since most of the songs here are barely okay. I've always personally contended that, despite its blatant hypocrisy, Chain of the Rhythm is a solid song, but even then it wins for me because it doesn't make any mistakes and it is so by the numbers. 2017 was a savage year. Congratulations on making it out alive. We're living in a world currently ruled in black and white thinking, and in some cases literally. If you want to speak to an audience about being positive, impactful change in the world, you can't quarter acid. I think it's admirable that she attempted to do this, I really do, but I really think her naivete and her celebrity get the best of her. The overall problem with Witness the album is that there is no focus, no breadth, or no depth. Perry's collaborators, ostensibly taking her lead along with Max Martin's, try to evade the obvious cliches, trap and whatever's left of tropical house and EDM, but instead veer off into a shapeless mess. I mean, it's not always a disappointment, but where tracks like Deja Vu and the Nicki Minaj collab Swish Swish Prince in Vogue, others like Mind Maze and the title track sag, and it all seems zapped of any energy or passion. Throughout every step of this, you can see Katy and her team not knowing where to steer the era. It felt like no one's heart was really in it, and everything they did came across as objectively cringy.
I am shooketh. Wig snatched.
Swish, swish, swish.
With obvious errors like these, it was clear from the start that none of this was going to work. Side note, did you know Katy never graduated from high school? Neither did I.
Most people who could be born will never be born, will never even exist. So the fact
Like
that...
sperm.
Okay, yeah, sure, yeah.
This isn't shade, by the way. She started her career early and grew up in what could be described as a progressive averse household. It seems like she still disagrees with her parents on a lot of issues, and I feel like that might have had a hand in her choosing to go this route, but not being able to know what to do with it ultimately did her in. It would have done her some good to actually, do some real grassroots work with people in minority or disadvantaged communities. Again, I can't fault her for the live stream. I do believe she had good intentions, but when you're loading your album with lyrics like these, it's hard for me or your audience to take any of this evolution seriously. Even if being cringy, which admittedly is something Katy has been known for, was the point, did it further the message of her cause in any substantive way? The biggest danger here out of all of this is that Katy learns nothing and goes back to her pop schlock, but time will tell. Third single Swish Swish would barely perform any better than Bon Appetit. Starting off strong, Witness debuted at number 1 but quickly tumbled off the charts after 19 weeks.
Summer, you've finished with your day. Hey.
Being a pop artist is hard, especially if you're a very successful one. Needing to maintain the status quo has to be incredibly stifling, and I don't envy anyone in that position one bit. You're a walking commodity, meant to sell catchy music to the masses, so anytime you choose to expose yourself as a human or let loose and really do something different, you run the risk of alienating people. I used to criticize Katy for being so opaque, but it's essential if you want to maintain your sanity.
I so badly want to be Catherine Hudson that I don't even want to look like Katy Perry anymore sometimes.
Okay.
And that is a little bit of why I cut my hair, is because I really want to be my authentic self. It's hard because I feel ashamed that I would even like have those thoughts, you know? I'd feel that low or that depressed.
So is Katy over? Of course not. In April 2017, she signed on to be a new American Idol judge, securing a reported $25 million. While her album and tour aren't necessarily setting the world on fire, I'm sure the fans are loving it. And that's the thing. In pop music, relevance is never guaranteed. It's an endless game of mining from a demographic that never depletes. Their tastes just change, and you're trying to get them to taste you.
Okay, yeah, sure, yeah.
And sure, the bigger you are, the easier you can spin your way into relevance. But if you're not making music that connects to the masses as well, you're not fulfilling your corporate duty. So, as a mainstream artist, it's a delicate thread to tread. But this doesn't have to be a death sentence. Some artists choose to break free in their own way and then start over again, hoping their fans follow them. Others lean all in, giving the audience exactly what they want, either to critical acclaim or not. So, from where I'm sitting, as a young white woman capable of releasing populist pop songs to the faceless masses, she's done it wonderfully before, and she can do it again. If she chooses to. But whatever route she goes, I'll be sure to document it in some form from an immeasurable distance.